Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to be opening the Sketchbox and I'm really excited to try out the supplies and make an illustration with what's inside. So let's open it. Sketchbox actually sent this to me to make a video. I actually reached out to them because I really want to do some subscription box videos because I think they're just so much fun and I just love the idea of them. And Sketchbox actually gave me a coupon code for you to use, which is JelArts, and you'll get 5% off any subscription of any length of Sketchbox, so I hope you will take advantage of that. So this is artwork by Kawai Kitsune. I've actually already seen what's inside here. I've been spoiled because my subscription was for the basic box and this is the premium box, but my basic box ended up being upgraded to a premium box because they ran out of basic boxes or something. So when I opened that one, it ended up being exactly what's inside here, but I haven't looked too closely yet, so we're gonna see. So here is a water brush, brush H2O, Zig watercolor system. I always like to try out new water brushes because they're just so handy. This looks like a brush pen, a fine tip brush pen. Let's open it. Kuretake brand, it looks like. It looks nice. I always love getting new pens. These little things that get everywhere. And this box is actually Cotman watercolor, which is funny because I just upgraded to like super high quality ones, and Cotman isn't my favorite, but I'm sure I can get it to work. Like, they're not the worst thing in the world. These are some nice colors. It's sap green, which I love, raw sienna, which I love, Indian red, Payne's gray, and then a Holbein. Looks like a nice peachy color. So here's the featured artist. A nice little watercolor portrait. Very nice. Gris or Gris, or however you pronounce that. And here's the value for everything. Oh, right. There's also this. An aqua board. So it's like a watercolor panel, which I think is super cool. I'm so excited to try that. Archival, acid-free, textured clay surface, absorbs watercolors like fine paper, and it was made exclusively for Sketchbox. The other tube of watercolor is actually $10, the Cotman are $5, the water brush is $7.50, the black pen is $2.75, and the 3x8 aqua board is $4. And there's a little sticker. That's actually really cool. Okay, I was trying to pull out this black thing, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to squeeze it, put it in the water, let it fill. Okay, that's as much as I can get in there. Okay, this palette's a bit stained, but it should be fine. I'm gonna put the colors in. It'd be nice to work with a limited palette like this. I think this will, oh my gosh. So much just came out. It just completely exploded. Why? No. Yeah, there's something up with this color, just, okay. Now here's sap green. No explosion. I love sap green. I need to get it for my own watercolors. And this high quality one, which I'm actually looking forward to see. It looks like it's kind of an opaque color, just based on how light it looks in the pan. Probably not fully opaque, like a semi-opaque, not fully transparent. I'm excited to see how these work, or how they look. That's a nice color. I'm probably leaving way too much of a puddle here. These are really nice colors, I really like them. I'm just such a fan of this shade of yellow and this shade of green. It's one of my favorites. I know this is gonna look different on the artboard, but I don't want to swatch on the artboard because I wish there was two. I think there's just one, but it'd be nice if there was two in case I messed it up. Now I want to see how this water brush works. Also, this sketchbook is probably not a good representation of how the watercolor will look because it's not made for watercolor, but watercolor works in it, so that's why I use it. This is a really nice peachy color. I love this. It's slightly opaque, but it's nice. Oh, this is so nice. Oh, this is my favorite kind of pen. The fine nib, that's a little bit flexible. So it's not fully waterproof when it's first laid down. I don't know how it would react if I let it dry for a bit. but I'm excited to start planning what I'm gonna draw. I actually just posted something on Instagram asking what I should draw, so I'm going to check that and see if I can get an idea. A lot of people have been saying to draw a dragon, and I honestly want to. I really want to. Because I don't really draw dragons, but they're fun. I actually sketched one today. Actually, wait, I thought I was gonna draw it in my sketchbook, but I just remembered this, and I just remembered that it is really long. So I think I need to pose the dragon differently. That's kind of the same dimensions. I wonder how well this is gonna sketch on. I need to open it. This is so strange. And it's so little. I love little things like this. Okay. Tips and techniques. Let's read this because I don't know what I'm doing. Acid-free textured clay surface backlit by JelArts hardboard support. Apparently it shows color in a way that paper can never match. Kind of makes me think that I want to do the tiniest little because it doesn't feel like it's absorbent. Oh, that looks really nice. And it says you can lift all the way back to white, so let's try that. Which I doubt is true. Oh no, no, no. So when you get it wet, it kind of turns this yellowy color. So I'm assuming once that part dries, it will go back to white. Okay, time to map out the sketch. Oh, that does not feel nice. I want it to be like a feathery sort of dragon. It erases pretty well. I've never drawn a dragon before. Ever. I've just never, for some reason. I don't know why, they always kind of intimidated me, but I don't know why, because I always thought they had to be super, like, complex and detailed and stuff, but that's not really true. They can be whatever you want them to be, I guess, just like anything. I think the tail might be too something. The funny thing about this is that it doesn't feel like pencil works on it very nicely, but then once you kind of get used to it, it's actually kind of a nice surface. And it erases a lot better than you'd expect. Okay, I think I want it to be kind of a reddish, yellowish sort of dragon with, I didn't even test mixing colors. Let's just try that 1 second. I can make kind of a dark purpley color by mixing the Payne's gray and the Indian red. Start by giving it a light wash. This really sucks up the watercolor immediately. I wonder how quickly it dries or if it just kind of sits in there. It's a very interesting surface. Gonna add some of the green ground. That's a very nice color. I really like this surface. It's just interesting to work with. It doesn't, you can't spread it around very well with the water, so it kind of stays put. And the colors are drying pretty vibrantly, especially the green. So when you work on top of it, with normal watercolor, it would kind of leave blotches, but since it absorbs so quickly and dries, it's quite nice. I moved it to the left side because I'm left-handed and I didn't want to reach over it all the time. So I'm gonna make the horns this dark brownish color, and I'm gonna use my small little brush. Wow, that really does lift up completely. I messed up the eye there, so I wanted to try it again. Oh, but it's still wet. Now for the nails. One thing I do notice is it's hard to get crisp lines because the texture of this just kind of absorbs everything and makes it kind of spread out a little bit more. Maybe I'm using too much pigment. Also kind of just like sits on the top. Okay, I need some more contrast. So I've mixed this green color. Let's see what I can do. Why is my hand so shaky today? Why does this keep happening? This is a very nice muted palette. I'm really a fan of it. I love me some orange and green and red. It's kind of less intimidating to have a limited palette because you know whatever color you put down is gonna essentially work with all the other colors. It might be cool for the feathers and the wings to have darker sort of flecks to them. I like the idea of dragons just being like big, sharp birds, if that makes any sense. Big sharp birds with 4 legs instead of 2. I know they're more like reptiles or something. I bet this would also scan really nicely because of how flat it is. Because it is hard to scan watercolor pieces when the paper is buckled. You have to put something flat on it and press down. And even then sometimes it's not quite flat enough and you have to do a lot of work in Photoshop to make everything sort of even out. But I'm sure this would scan a lot nicer. I've never really mixed colors with Payne's Gray before, so this is an interesting experience for me to learn how the color works. I want to just put a light color in the background. Wait, I'll use a bigger brush for that because it's not smart to do that with a small brush. I don't want to just leave it white because that is a little boring. White can be nice though, but it's not what I want right now. It's hard to get an even wash because of how much it just takes the water. It almost looks like I painted this with gouache because of how it looks. I want to let this dry without putting hairdryer on it, so I need to leave it for a bit and then do the final details. Okay, it's all dried now, and I was just printing some orders, and this is my test sheet, but look how similar the colors are to that as my last 2 artworks that I've done. I've been really leaning towards this, and then the Sketchbox I get ends up being the palette that I've been using lately. That's kind of funny because I've been wanting to branch away a little bit, but that didn't happen. I need some darker colors. I don't want to rely on the Payne's gray too much for darks, but it's kind of a good way to tone it down because it's bluish and I like to include blue in this so it's not too warm. I really want there to be enough contrast because it seems like this likes to kind of dull things down and kind of flatten them. But I'm also not really used to using Cotman watercolors or this surface. It's all kind of new. Add some texture. I think this is kind of a very fuzzy, feathery dragon, but with some scales. Oh, I just realized I never used the brush pen. I kind of don't want to add black to this though. I'll sign it with the brush pen. But I should probably use it. I'll use it very subtly. Because I'm kind of supposed to use all the supplies. It's a lot easier to go back in and kind of move paint around than it is on paper, because with paper, that will not work. You will mess it up, and I kind of did a little bit here. It's just gonna stand out so much. Well, maybe not that much. Let's try it on the toes. Okay, just little areas. It actually feels pretty nice to use on this. Okay, I added a little bit. I don't think I overdid it. Not gonna add any more because if I do, I know I will overdo it. And I think there needs to be a bit of some darker grass. The water brush. Didn't use the water brush. Maybe I'll use it to add the little details. So that's it. I had a lot of fun painting this because the color palette was right up my alley. And it's just really fun using a bunch of art supplies that are all kind of packaged together and getting surprised every month. It was also really cool working on this like clay artboard surface. I've never tried anything like this before. And I'm happy with my little dragon character. I also have a Patreon where I send out monthly prints and stickers and a mystery item and their sketchbook PDFs and stuff like that on my Patreon if you want to go check that out. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed filming it a lot, and I will see you in my next video.